Hiya, it's Hannah the Artisan Duck, and I am back today with another bead weaving tutorial. There is more clay to come, I promise. Today I'm making this really simple, sweet heart pendant. It's using a basic right angle weave stitch, if you can see that on the reverse there. And then, because I'm me, I've embellished it over the top with a little bit of extra detail, and I popped it on a chain so I can make it into a necklace. I'm going to be using these colours today, and this is a 4mm faceted bead and size 11 seed beads. I'll just show you though, I've also made it in this sort of gunmetal grey and silver bead, which is just as nice. And I've also made it with some pearls. I think some of the detail gets lost when I've made it with pearls, but that may be the gold beads I've used with it as well. But all of them very nice. You can see the right angle weave stitch really clearly on that one though. There we go. So to get started, I'll just move these out of the way. I've got myself a beading needle and a really long piece of black thread for this. Just to say, if the lighting's slightly strange, it's a very, very dull day here in the UK, so I've got extra lights around, which means I'm casting a shadow the whole time. But anyway, to get started, I'm going to pick up 4 of my beads and I'm going to move them down towards the end of my thread, but I do want to leave enough thread to weave in at the end, so leaving yourself a good tail thread, I like to just tie a knot. It holds those starting beads in place, and with right angle weave particularly, I find it's really hard to keep the shape of it nice. So tie a knot in this thread. Like so. There we go. And I'm just going to take my needle through the beadwork, try and pull that knot inside a bead. There we go. So there's our 4 beads together, and I've moved away from the knot. Right, to progress onwards, I'm just going to pick up another 3 beads, and we're going to make clusters of 4 beads. So each time you pick up a new bead, you only need 3, because the one that you're exiting out of will be the 4th bead in your cluster. So pick up those beads, and you can see here that we're exiting out of this bead here. We're going to take the needle into the same bead but down into the opposite side. So when we pull the needle, it'll form another loop of beads like that. Can you see? Now we're going to take the needle up through the side bead, because we want to be exiting out of the top so we can add another set of beads. So if you move through like that, we're exiting out of the top, and we can now go on and pick up another 3 beads. Like that, and we're coming out this way, so we're going to take it into the same bead but the opposite direction. There we go. So now we've got 3 little rows of beads, and that's the start of our heart. So I'm just going to show you on the other one. This is upside down, but we need to create this V shape. So now we've added this set of beads, we're going to go through to the next bead along, which is, so this one here, and instead of going to the top, we're just going to leave the needle and thread coming out of there. This will form the bottom of the heart, and we can start, that's my tail thread, we can start then beading up the other side. So I'm just going to pull this to get the thread tight. Right, so we're exiting out of this bead. This is going to be my 4th bead, and we're going up this way. So I'm going to pick up 3, like so, and we're going to go into this bead that we're exiting out of, just the same as before. My camera hates me doing this, but out on the opposite side. So it's going to form a loop on the side. You see? Just like that. And now we need to add another row of beading up here. And this will be our last section of right angle weave. But that's all right angle weave is. This is a very short section of it. You could make long rows of this into bracelets. Right, so I've moved my needle through the beadwork so that I'm now exiting out of the top. Ignore my tail thread there. So this is the bead we're working on. Just wants to focus on those seed beads behind me. There you go. So we're going to pick up 3 more of the faceted beads, like so, and I'm going to go into the opposite side. And there you go, there's our basic heart shape. You can see that. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this thread needle round, so I'm exiting out of the side there, just really so I can pull this thread and tighten up this beadwork. That is your basic heart shape. Ignoring that tail thread, we're going to now pick up the size 11s and add them all the way around. So exiting out of a 4mm, pick up your size 11 and then just take your needle into the next 4mm along, and it'll just start to fill in those gaps down the side and also help pull the beadwork together. There you go, so there's one side of the seed beads coming down here. Now because we reached the bottom and want to make a nice sharp point there, I'm going to pick up 3 seed beads. Like that. I'm going to go into the next 4mm along. And when you pull the thread, those 3 beads will sit nicely as a point on the bottom of the heart. So I'm going to go off and I'm going to add 1 seed bead now between all of these beads, and I'll come back and show you the next steps. Alright, there you go. There's the heart with the little seed beads, and you could leave it here if you wanted and just knot it off and add some loops here and here to add your chain, or put a loop in the middle there and just hang it like that. But we're going to add a bit more detail. So I'm going to move my needle so that it's exiting, it's going through that size 11, through the 4mm, and then through this size 11 here, just like that. And then I'm going to pick up 1 size 11, 1 faceted bead, and then another size 11. And I'm going to take the needle into the size 11 there, that's between those 2 beads, and pull. There we go. Just doing that forces that bead to sit across the top in the middle and adds a little bit of decoration. So the next step is to pick up another size 11. Oh, my beads are sliding around. Pick up another size 11, another 4mm, and another size 11 again, like that. And this time I'm taking it, it will focus, into this 4mm size 11 here. There you go. So you can see it's a really simple step, but really helps elevate the basic stitch into something else. Right, now from here I'm going to take my needle through this 4mm and down through there and into the very bottom bead there on the heart. And we're going to pick up, because we're going to go a much longer distance for this bit, we're going to pick up 2 size 11s, size 4mm, and then 2 more size 11s. So 1, 2, and the 4mm, and then another 2. You can see, just like that. And we're going to take it up, hoping you can see, up through that 4mm at the size 11, sorry, at the top there, and we're going to pull through. There we go. And I've gone through sort of at the opposite, so we're coming out of here, and I have put it on a slight angle, but we're going to neaten that up in a second. We're going to now pick up 1 size 11, like that, and then just pull it down, and then you're going to take your needle back down the size 11 that's just after that 4mm. You're going to take the needle through the 4mm and back out to the first size 11 just after the bead, the 4mm bead, and then pull. So you can see you've got like a little full pattern of size 11 beads there, and we're coming out of the bottom here. We're just going to pick up 1 more size 11, and we're going to go back into the size 11 at the bottom of the heart and pull through just to finish off that little section. There you go, and you've got that lovely little detail going up through the centre. Now we're going to work our way through the beadwork. So you're going to go up through the size 11 and the 4mm. You're then going to take it up through this size 11, here, and then we're going to repeat what we did on the other side. So pick up 1 size 11, 1 4mm, and another size 11. There you go, just like that. And we're going to go into this size 11. Oops, did I lose that? We're going to go into this size 11 here and pull. There we go. And now all we need to do to finish off this little top detail is, you guessed it, 1 size 11, 1 4mm, oh, and another size 11, like that. And we're going to go up into the size 11 at the top. There we go. And that's pretty much the heart done. Now if you wanted to do something else with it at this point, you could just knot these threads off and do whatever you want with it. But I'm going to add on my loops. Just going to pull my needle down a bit. So basically from where we are exiting out of this size 11 at the top here, that's my tail thread, so just ignore that one. We're exiting out of this size 11 here. We're going to pick up 6 more size 11 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There you go. So there's my 6 size 11 beads, and I'm just going to take the needle down here into this size 11, and that loop now means we can attach our jump rings. I'm going to go through, and what I like to do is just go across and go through this loop again, just so it's really strong. So just work my way around the beading again. Don't make any new bead paths or anything like that. You can just follow what you've already got. Go up. And I'm right at the top again now, so I can go back up and around through those beads. Right, so now we just need to move our needle down through the beadwork until we exit out at the top on the other side. There we go. So I'm now exiting it right at the top here, and we're just going to pick up 6 more seed beads and then go through this size 11 to finish it off. There we go. I can't seem to talk and bead at the same time today. It's Monday morning, I think that's all it is. There we go. There's our loop, and I shall just go through again just to reinforce it all. There we go. So all that's left now is to knot off the threads. So I'm going to go through the outer edge of the beadwork. It's just how I like to do it. And to do the knots, you're just going to go sort of up between the beads, and you're going to catch the threads that are going down this way, and you're going to knot across them. So just pull your needle up so you're between the threads, and when you've got a little loop, you can just go into the loop like that. I'm not sure I'm being very clear. And pull, and that's made a knot. And when you pull the needle through the next bead along, it'll pull the knot inside. So I'm going to go off and I'm going to knot this thread, and then I'm going to do exactly the same with my tail thread, and then I'll be back to show you. There we go, there's the finished heart. The last step now is to add the chain, and I've got that ready here. I'll just do the one side just in case you don't know how to do this step. I've cut it to length and I've got my pliers here. I'm just going to open up this jump ring you twist them rather than pull apart, I mean. Like that. Once it's open wide enough, you can hook in your beads. I can hook in 1/2 of my chain, and then just take your pliers and you can close up the jump ring again. Like that, and then the 2 halves of the jump ring should meet to make a secure loop. I'm trying to show you, but making a really bad job of it. There you go. So that's 1/2 of your chain added, and then you just need to add the other one, and when you've done the other chain, you'll have a finished necklace like this. I shall leave the links below for a blog post which shows a step-by-step guide for this. If you want to see some pictures and work through it at a slightly slower rate, you can. If you do make it and share it on social media, I'd love it if you could tag me in it so I could see it. Alright, until next time, it may well be polymer clay next time. I shall see you soon. Thanks, bye!